every now and again, I like to go through the traditional mantras for sun salutation. And it turns out that we did it last February because I found the mantras I recorded and put them on WhatsApp again. So these are the 12 names of the sun in Sanskrit. And traditionally, this is what the Surya Namaskar is. It's a form of worship or prayer. And it would traditionally be done facing east, towards the rising sun, or starting just before the sun rises. And for a lot of people in India, this is their sole asana they do. They don't do lots of other asana. The only asana part of their practice, and they wouldn't call it asana, they'd call it prayer, they'd call it devotion. Their practice is sun salutation with mantras. And normally they'd do 3, 6, or 12 salutations to the sun. We obviously have to improvise. So that hour in the morning in India is early. And the good thing about that and why practice is often done then is because it's cool. Especially if you're living in southern India, it's really gets hot quite quickly. You practice in the cool of the day. You never practice in the heat of the day. You practice very early, and then you practice late if you're going to do other practices. And the idea of that time of day is it's called Brahmahuta. And Brahmahuta means the hour of Brahman, Brahma, the creator. So it's the hour of creation. And it's called the hour of creation because that's when the prana is at its strongest in the universe. So you'll notice that just before the sun rises, that's when the birds start to sing. Namaste, welcome. Have you ever noticed that? They don't wait till the sun comes up and then start singing. The birds will start to sing before the sun comes over the horizon. And at that point, just before the sun comes up, that's when the prana that is supposed to be the most strong at its strongest. And that's the auspicious time for sadhana. So a great time for meditation, great time for your Surya Namaskar, whatever it is you're practicing. So that's why it's traditionally done then. But in India, that can be anything from sort of like 4:30 to 5 o'clock in the morning. And if you get up at 4:30 at 5 o'clock in the morning in the middle of winter in the UK, it's not going to feel the same. And the other thing you often do when you're in ashrams in India is like you'll set off, say, 4:15 in the morning, and you go on a silent meditation walk, and you'll walk to a holy site. And for example, in Himalayas, we'd go to this particular temple high up in the mountains. In Kerala, we would walk to a hill where there was a shrine. And on the way, you're doing silent meditation walking where you're rolling your mala and repeating mantra. And then when you get to the site, you get there, it's timed so that you get there just before the sun comes up. And you all settle into your meditation as the sun rises. And then as the sun comes over the horizon, and then sometimes you continue meditation, but you also do chanting, like you chant the Gayatri mantra and other mantras. So it's very beautiful practice, very powerful. That's slightly off topic. So what we're going to do is just start by chanting these together. And today we're going to spend a bit of time at the beginning of the class just going through the sun salutation so you can learn how the mantras fit this particular sun salutation. Now, somebody asked me the other day, they said, well, what about other sun salutation? And this mantra can be used with any sun salutation. I first did it in Shivananda. It's also very strong in the Satchidananda tradition. You can adapt it to Ashtanga, Surya Namaskar. I also did it all the time in Jiva Mukti with that vinyasa, with that sun salutation. It can be adapted to any sun salutation. It isn't about the style of yoga. It's about the devotion of the practice and making it fit the practice. And I would say when you've learned this, it's like you won't really want to go back to doing sun salutation without it. It makes it a completely different thing. It's very powerful. Inhale deeply for Om. Om Maitreya Namaha. Om Maitreya Namaha. Om Ravi Namaha. Om Ravi Namaha. Om Surya Namaha. Om Surya Namaha. Om Banave Namaha. Om Banave Namaha. Om Kakeya Namaha. Om Kakeya Namaha. Om Pushni Namaha. Om Pushni Namaha. Om Hiranyagabe Namaha. Om Hiranyagabe Namaha. Om Mariche Namaha. Om Mariche Namaha. Om Mariche Namaha. Om Mariche Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Akeya Namaha. Om Akeya Namaha. Om Bhaskareya Namaha. Om Bhaskareya Namaha. Om Maitreya Namaha. Om Maitreya Namaha. Om Raveya Namaha. Om Raveya Namaha. Om Sareya Namaha. Om Sareya Namaha. Om Banave Namaha. Om Banave Namaha. Om Kageya Namaha. Om Kageya Namaha. Om Pushni Namaha. Om Pushni Namaha. Om Hiranyagabeya Namaha. Om Hiranyagabeya Namaha. Om Mariche Namaha. Om Mariche Namaha. Om Mariche Namaha. Om Mariche Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Akeya Namaha. Om Akeya Namaha. Om Bhaskareya Namaha. Om Bhaskareya Namaha. Prostrations to him who is affectionate to all. Prostrations to him who is the cause of change. Prostrations to him who induces activity. Prostrations to him who diffuses light. Prostrations to him who moves in the sky. Prostrations to him who nourishes all. Prostrations to him who contains everything. Prostrations to him who possesses rays. Prostrations to him who is God of gods. Prostrations to him who produces everything. Prostrations to him who is fit to be worshipped. Prostrations to him who is the cause of luster. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. Your hands into Anjali Mudra, bow your head. Offer your practice today to someone who's brought light into your life, human being, animal being, or nature being. Bring them into your mind's eye and visualize them. Dedicate your practice to them. Namaste. Okay, so I'm just going to read. This is from a book called Surya Namaskar. Oops. Surya Namaskar, which some of you might know. It's a book, the whole book is about the sun salutation. And in here, there's a sort of longer description of all the different mantras and their origin. I'll read the first one, Om Maitreya Namaha. Salutations, Mitra is a friend. So it's salutations to the friend of all. The first position, Tadasana, you're standing in feet together with the hands in Anjali Mudra over the heart. The first position, Tadasana, embodies the attitude of reverence to the source of all life as we know it. The sun is regarded as a universal friend, endlessly giving light, heat, and energy to support this and all other planets. In the scriptures, Mitra is described as calling man to activity, sustaining earth and sky, and beholding all creatures without discrimination. Just as the early morning sun signals the beginning of the day's activities and sheds its light on all of life. So I'll read these as different ones each week, but there's 12 descriptions there of the different names of the sun. And there are different mantras that can be used for this. On the thing I shared today on WhatsApp, did any of you see the thing I shared today? Is everybody here in the WhatsApp group? Yeah, good. The thing I shared on the WhatsApp group today is my teacher Ramaswamy leading someone through the Surya Namaskar. And in it, he's using a slightly longer mantra. But at the end of each of those mantras is this bija. This is not actually a bija, one of this shorter mantra. It can also be done with much longer mantras. So the thing which is specific about doing it in this tradition, which is different to all the other traditions I've practiced it in, is that you don't actually do the mantra moving with the breath. You do the mantra in the pauses between breath and movement. So you do the mantra, you repeat the mantra to stillness. Stillness in the body and stillness in the breath, stillness in the mind. And it's like it encourages the pauses between breaths and the pauses in the movement. So it makes the whole sun salutation much more considered and conscious, because you have to actually stop the movement and you have to stop the breath. And when you're doing that, you can do that in the practice, and you do it and you just sort of like stop the breath for a moment as you get to the end of the movement. But then what you'll find is you start the next movement. And so the breath is kind of, it's not, can be pauses, but there's not a real stop in the breath. In the way this is done, you have to completely pause the breath, because the mantra doesn't start until you stop breathing. So you really have to think about it. It really is about concentration, but it's also about gaining control of the breath. So also some of the postures in the Surya Namaskar, like holding Chaturanga and upward facing dog, and we do Chaturanga twice in this system, that you're holding Chaturanga and you fully exhale, and then you repeat the mantra. So you hold the postures for longer, which is also initially a challenge. And if you have used a longer mantra, then you're obviously holding them for a lot longer. But I don't do that in class, because for most people, the breath retention is too long. So this is a mantra which is more accessible, because you don't have to hold the breath or the posture for too long. But it's still quite powerful. Does that make sense? So the best way to find out how it feels is to actually do it. So shall we do it? Okay. So you can spread out a little bit more on that middle row, and make yourself some space, move around. Come towards the front of your mat and stand in Tadasana. Does anybody actually know this mantra? Okay. So those of you who've done it before with me, you've forgotten it. Yeah, okay. A couple of people last night said they thought they remembered it, but I think they did. Yeah. It obviously made a big impact. It takes some learning, but it's really worth doing. Can I move that hakam because I'll tread on it and it will hurt. Is that was yours, yeah? Oh, it's yours. Oh, that's okay. Fine. Okay, standing into Asana. Chest up, chin down, look hard. We just do the first round in the normal way without the mantra. Try and memorize the practice. Inhale. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Go to the end of the breath, pause. Inhale, widen overhead, flip your palms, lift up. Hold the breath in, chin down, look hard. Exhale, hips back, fold forward. Hands to the floor, bend the knees if you need to, empty the lungs, hold the breath out. Short inhale. Exhale fully, squat down, Utkatasana, heels may rise, forehead towards the knees. Completely empty the lungs, hold the breath out. Short inhale, hold the breath, hop or step back, knees down for half Chaturanga or full Chaturanga. Or just lower a little bit, it's fine. Then all the way to the floor, and inhale, hold the breath, full prostration. Feet are together, palms are together. And then hands back beside the chest, Chaturanga, fully exhale in Chaturanga. Strong legs, strong core. Inhale, upward facing dog, hold the breath in, chin down. Exhale, downward facing dog, empty the lungs. Hold the breath out, step or hop forward, Utkatasana. Expel a bit more air as you squat down. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, fold, empty the lungs, hold the breath out. Flip the palms, inhale up. Chin down, arch back. Exhale, Anjali Mudra, hands in prayer. Look hard, hold the breath out. Inhale, Tadasana. Okay, so now we're going to do it with mantra. And there's a couple of little things. So there's extra breaths. You know when you take the extra breath, can you just come forward a little bit? Right on your, move your mat forward a little bit so you've got room to get your arms over the head. Yeah, good. There's a couple of extra breaths in the sequence, aren't there? Like when you fold forward, exhale, inhale, and then exhale, and then the same when you come. And also when you squat down, you take a little extra breath before you hop back to Chaturanga. There's no mantras on those little breaths. It's only when you're in the actual main posture itself that the mantra comes. You'll see how that works. But that's something to be conscious of, because what tends to happen is you tend to leave out the little breaths when you're doing the mantra. But the small breaths are still there, and I'll talk you through it this time so you'll get it. Yeah, probably best to do it. Inhale. Exhale. Om Mitri Namaha. Om Ravi Namaha. Exhale. Hold the breath out all the way down. Om Surya Namaha. Little inhale. Exhale, squat down. Empty the lungs, hold the breath out. Om Banavi Namaha. Little inhale. Hold the breath. Chaturanga or knees down for half. Om Kage Namaha. All the way down, full prostration. Om Pushni Namaha. Chaturanga. Fully exhale. Om Hiranyagabe Namaha. Inhale, upward facing dog, chin down. Om Mariche Namaha. Back, empty the lungs. Om Mariche Namaha. Forward, squat down. More air out of the lungs, empty the lungs. Om Savitre Namaha. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, fold. Om Ake Namaha. Inhale up, chin down. Exhale, prayer to the heart. Om, empty the lungs. Om Bhaskare Namaha. Inhale, Tadasana. Okay, do another one. One thing, I'm going to spend a bit of time on this today. So when you're new to the practice, when you're in the down dog and you've got to come forward, it's a full exhale in the down dog, isn't it? Am I right? So it's a full exhale. You empty the lungs and draw the abdomen in. And then when you're used to it, what you do is you just hop or you step forward and you squat with the air still out of the lungs. And as you squat down, you just squeeze a little bit more air out of the lungs. But when you're newer to the practice, that's quite a long exhale retention and it can make it quite stressful. So what you want to do is like down dog. And when you exhale, empty the lungs. And then do a little inhale as you come forward. Just a short inhale to stop the stress building from the retention. And then exhale, squeeze it out as you go down. And that will just stop you getting too stressed in the practice at that point. When you feel comfortable with it, and especially when you're jumping, so it takes a lot less longer to do the movement, you'll be able to hold the breath out, engage the bandhas, which is one of the reasons you're doing the full exhale there. You engage the bandhas, soften the knees, and use the bandhas to help you just hop lightly forward and drop into Utkatasana squat. But in the beginning, for those of you who are newer to it, or it's more of a flexibility issue, then you just want to take a little breath as you come forward, not a big breath. It wants to be enough so that as you squat down, all the air goes out quite quickly. If you take a big breath as you come forward, that will again cause stress as you squat. Does that make sense? So that's an option you can do. Do another one. Inhale. Exhale. Om Maitre Namaha. Ujjayi breathing. Om Ravi Namaha. Om Surya Namaha. Little inhale. Exhale, squat. Om Banavi Namaha. Little inhale. Back. Hold Chaturanga. Exhale. Om Kage Namaha. All the way down. Full prostration. Hold the breath in. Hands are in prayer. Om Pushni Namaha. Back. Hold Chaturanga. Om Hiranyagabe Namaha. Inhale, forward, upward facing dog. Hold the breath in. Om Mariche Namaha. Back. Empty the lungs. Om Adiche Namaha. Forward. Squat. Om Savitre Namaha. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, fold. Om Ake Namaha. Inhale up. There's no mantra at the top. Anjali. Exhale, hold the breath out, look hard. Om Bhaskare Namaha. Tadasana. Okay. Does it feel different? No? Okay. Okay, it changes. It's kind of changes it a lot. You gotta control everything much more, yes? And what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to learn this mantra. So that as we're doing the practice and as you're doing your personal practice, you can do the mantra as you practice. It takes a bit of time, but when you get it, especially when you're practicing on your own, it completely transforms the Surya Namaskar. It's very beautiful devotional practice. There's one thing that we have to address though, and that's Chaturanga. And this could take 3 hours, but we haven't got 3 hours. So we're going to just do a couple of things very briefly. Because it really shows up when you do this salutation if you haven't got your Chaturanga correct. Because you're holding it for longer and you're doing it twice, it shows up the kind of flaws. And not doing Chaturanga with the correct form is a problem long term for your shoulders. And I want to avoid that for people. Sophie, can you help me? Mm-hmm. You just face that way and come onto your downward facing dog. And you need to be around the front. So everybody come close. Okay, inhale, plank pose, and then exhale, bring your knees down. Okay, I don't want you to do Chaturanga just yet. So the first thing is, like some of you, when you're bending the elbows, your elbows are going this way a bit. Okay, elbows shouldn't do that. So the eyes of the elbows, they can't face towards each other. They have to face forward. So the eyes of the elbows face as forward as possible. Now, Sophie can do that, and then what happens when she bends her elbows? They just go back. Yeah? So the elbows are virtually brushing the sides of her body as she bends her elbows. There's no outward movement to the elbow. So just come up now and rest a minute. So what she's doing is she's moving the shoulder joint in one plane of movement. It's just a forward and a backward movement in the socket. Does that make sense? The moment she lets her elbows go out, she's doing both. She's rotating the shoulder forward and backwards, but also it's a sort of it's an internal rotation of the shoulder joint as well. So, and that puts too much pressure in the shoulder joint. And the other thing that it does when the elbow goes out, it makes the body dip forward and all the weight goes forward into the shoulder, which is not what you want. So if you everybody just bring their hands out in front of them like this, okay, and then rotate your inner arm up as much as possible, keeping the fingers vertical, and just bend the elbows. Can you see how the elbows work? The shoulders work? Just one movement. Yeah, that's the most efficient way of carrying your body weight. The moment that happens, it all goes to pot. And quite a lot of you haven't got that. And one of the reasons is, can you bring your hands to the floor again? So some people with this middle finger forward, which is a standard instruction, they find it difficult to get the inner elbows open enough. It's a way about how your joints are made. So if you can't get your inner elbow forward enough to make the elbow go straight back close to your body, you bring the index finger forward. And then you've got more rotation in the arms, and the elbows will go straight back. Yeah? Does that make sense? Okay, come up. And so the next thing is, a lot of you are doing Chaturanga with the knees off the floor and you're not strong enough. So if you just come into plank pose, Sophie, see how flat she is? And now just do Chaturanga. See how flat she still is? If you can't do that, don't do Chaturanga. Come up, bring your knees to the floor, and just do this. Go at slightly forward movement and no further than there. That's what you should be doing if you're struggling at all in Chaturanga. Chaturanga is a difficult and strong pose. You don't want to be doing it if you can't keep the breath smooth and hold it for the duration of the mantra. You build your strength up over time by doing the half Chaturanga with the knees on the floor. It will serve you in the long run. So just come into that position again. And so even if she's going to do the half Chaturanga, she's still really using her core. She's got a good strong Uddiyana Bandha. Come up, don't go down yet. She's going to move her elbows straight back. She's keeping her shoulder blades this way so that they don't roll forward. As she goes down, what you don't want, can you do it wrong? Can you dip down? See the way our shoulder joints are dipping forward there and coming up? You don't want that. Come up. When you go too low and you drop too fast, the shoulder joint rotates this way as you go down. But you want to stabilize the shoulder by moving the shoulder blades down the back, keeping the elbows in, and making Chaturanga look slightly forward in Chaturanga, and make the Chaturanga a forward movement. Okay, can you see that her shoulders are more stable there? So that's as far, like she's strong, so she can go down, shoulder in line with the elbow. But most of you don't even want to go that far. So inhale and exhale, go halfway. So for most of you, that's probably enough. But when you do get strong, the shoulders don't go below the elbow. So you hold that, and that's strenuous enough for most people. Are you with me so far? Yeah. So I don't want to see, and also some of you are doing Chaturanga and like your legs are weak. Just do a full Chaturanga. Good having Sophie here. So go up again, down to plank. So before she goes into Chaturanga, and if you are strong and you think you could, your legs are charged, like her quadriceps, they're like rock, they're hard. And she's got a really strong core, and she's pushing the heels hard away from the top of her skull to keep that line of energy. And nothing changes when she bends the elbows. She just moves the chest forward as she bends the elbows, and that's Chaturanga. Okay, bring the knees to the floor. Now, there's one more thing. If you're not comfortable doing that and can't keep that strength, there's a few of you could get there, but you've got to really charge your legs and your core. So the weight of the body goes back in the body. It doesn't all fall forward. If you don't drop too low, that helps. But last thing, can you just do the half again? Okay, so this is something Sophie needs to work on. Okay, so now do half Chaturanga. Can you see how much her shoulder blades are closing towards each other in her back? Do it again. So that's going to happen to some extent, but this is too much. Why is it too much? Because she's letting her chest drop through too much. So in this position, when you lower, you've got to use the muscles in the front of the chest here. You've got to engage them to keep the heart moving back. So if you just let your heart drop first. Just don't do it yet. Just do it here. Stay there. That position is going to happen. The shoulder blades will move towards each other a bit, but you shouldn't exaggerate it. Push your heart up into my fingers. Slightly round your back. Up, up. Yes. You see that? And now keep that and lower. You see, the lower she goes, the worse it gets. Yeah. So now do it again. Okay, so lift the heart. You're never going to keep it completely. Like if you did plank, do plank. Like if you do plank, you can do it. Push the heart up. See that? Now to do that, she's having to engage the muscles to push the heart up. And you want to have that feeling in plank. Like if you're going into plank and then lowering, if you get that first, then bring your knees down and try to keep that as much as you can as you lower, but don't go too far. It's quite difficult. I mean, you're never going to do it so the shoulder blades don't move. But what you'll do is if you keep that feeling of that action of drawing the heart up, it will help to stabilize your scapula which will keep your shoulders in a more stable position. So think about it. I can't, this could go on all class, you know what I mean? You know, those of you know, some of you know, like Chaturanga is really complicated posture. But there's a few basic things there that if you start to think about them and put them in your practice, it'll make a huge difference. But if you're struggling in Chaturanga and you feel weak in Chaturanga, don't do full Chaturanga. There's no prizes for it. And if it means that you're carrying the weight forward and getting too much weight in your shoulders, you'll thank me for it in the long run. Thank you, Sophie. There's this tendency in Chaturanga when you're doing it faster, like when you're doing a class where you do faster movements, to just drop into Chaturanga and then move. When you do it in the way we're doing it, you can't do that. You've got to try and make it work, and you've got to get it correct. And so I'm asking you, you know, unless you really know what you're doing, to bring your knees down and just work on the form till you get strong. Let's do another one. Actually, go into down dog. We'll do the Chaturanga. We'll isolate it. Down dog. Hips up, navel in. Inhale, come forward to plank pose. Now just hold the plank pose. Bring your head in line with your spine and push your heart up. So you've almost got a little rounding in your upper back. And now just bring your knees down and think of Chaturanga not just as a downward movement, but a forward movement. But before you go down, draw your lower abdomen in and lift your pelvic floor. And then just bend your elbows straight back, inner elbows forward. Lean your hands are too far forward. You can only go halfway. Don't go down so your shoulders get lower than your elbows. Now just hold that. Is that easy? Not easy, is it? Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. Rotate eyes to the elbows forward. Core strong. Exhale, bring the knees down. Just lower halfway or until you feel that that's enough for you. Okay, just stop a minute. Okay, so Chaturanga is forward. It's not this. Even with the knees down, it's not this. Chaturanga is a forward movement. It's here, knees down, forward. Some of you are making it way too hard for yourself because you're trying to lower too straight. You want to bring your heart forward. You're keeping your chest up and your heart just moves forward. It's more graceful, it flows more, it's more free. If you try to go down too low and your hips start to go, what happens is, and it's the same whether the legs, the same principle, whether the legs are straight or not. As you go down, if your bum goes back like that, what tends to happen is it pulls the weight forward into the shoulder joint. Does that make sense? Whereas if you do it like this, knees down, and then instead of the hips going back, the hips go forward, what I can do is I can take, it's almost like I'm taking half the weight in my Uddiyana Bandha. It's like resisting the movement forward. Instead of when I go down, I can't really control what's happening in the shoulders. Do it again, down dog. Inhale, plank pose. Knees down, exhale, inner eyes of the elbows forward. Take an inhale there. And then just exhale, move slightly forward as you go down. And don't go too far. And then inhale, come into upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, knees down. Move the chest, keep the heart up and move the chest forward and keep the shoulder blades down the back. And then inhale, upward facing dog. Okay. Exhale, downward facing dog. It's better. Knees down, sit up. Does that feel different? Okay, so let's do a full chaturanga, a downward facing dog. Inhale there, exhale fully. Now inhale, come into plank, charge your legs. Draw your lower abdomen in, lift your pelvic floor, slide your shoulder blades down your back and push your heart up. Look slightly forward, and then on a slow exhale, bend your elbows straight back. See how far you go. Your hips are sagging, Lynn. Okay, and then inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, and then come onto your knees. So if you can go into that full chaturanga comfortably, breathe out and repeat the Lord's Prayer, then you can do it. Otherwise, bring your knees down. So you know if you're strong enough. You've got to be able to control that breath. If you can't, bring the knees down. You'll get stronger. You'll definitely get stronger, and then you'll be able to do it. But it takes time. Don't rush it. And if you can feel, Lynn, you're getting that you're okay, but you're just not charging your legs. Your legs are weak, and you're just sort of like, you're hollowing. You've got to drive the heels away from the head. Very powerful. Got to be powerful. And then the other thing is, if you do that correctly, and you've got that stability in your shoulders, and you're in this position when you're in chaturanga, when you come into upward facing dog, again, it's a simple shoulder movement in the shoulder joints. It's a simple rotation. If you've gone too low, which is a lot of you are doing, and your shoulders have rolled into this position, and then you've got to come up and roll through that with the weight of the body into the shoulders into upward facing dog, you're going to wear your shoulder joints out. So you're doing this in a way that it's like minimum movement for maximum result. You're not trying to make big up and down movements. Chaturanga and upward facing dog are more of a forward and a backward movement than an up and a down movement. Yeah? Okay, something to think about. We'll do one more Surya Namaskar mantra. Any questions? Loads of questions, yeah. Sorry? Yeah, keep the toes turned under like you would in Chaturanga. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so eventually it's something you're repeating silently to yourself as you practice. But way to learn it is to chant it. And anything else? Okay, good. Stand up. Inhale. Final thing. Final thing. Surya Namaskar and this mantra, do it in a devotional way. Remember what it is. You know, even though you're not facing the rising sun in India, doing your practice first thing in the morning with the crows in the background and the monkeys in the trees, you are still saluting the light of consciousness, which is symbolized by the sun in your own heart. And that is the ultimate expression of Surya Namaskar. The light that you're worshipping is really your inner light in whatever form that manifests for you. Inhale. Exhale. Anjali Mudra. Om Maitre Namaha. Inhale. Om Ravi Namaha. Exhale. Om Surya Namaha. Squat down. Om Banave Namaha. Little inhale. Hop or step back. Your Chaturanga, knees down. Optional. Exhale fully there. Om Kage Namaha. Full prostration. Hold the breath in. Om Pushni Namaha. Chaturanga. Om Hiranyagabe Namaha. Up dog. Hold the breath in. Om Madhye Namaha. Exhale. Om Madhye Namaha. Forward. Om Savitre Namaha. Inhale, straight, and exhale, fold. Hold the breath out. Om Make Namaha. Inhale up. Exhale, Anjali, look heart. Om Bhaskare Namaha. Tadasana. Okay, let's move on. Turn to the right, stand in Tadasana. Still got a few minutes left. Inhale, raise the arms, shoulder level. Exhale, soften the knees, hop or step the feet triangle distance apart. Turn feet out 30 degrees. Inhale, Trikonasana. Exhale to the right, move the hips slightly back, fold over the left leg. Try not to keep the body flat. You can move the hips back a bit so it's a partial forward bend. Inhale, come up. Ujjayi breathing, please. Exhale, reach out to the left, go down, move the hips slightly back. Inhale up. You can look at the side wall or the top hand. Exhale, right. Okay, and then hold there, 3 breaths, short inhales, long exhales. Gazing at top hand or side wall. Ujjayi breathing, please. Hand on the leg or the floor. Push down into the right foot so you can feel lightness and equal weight in both feet. You don't want all the weight falling forward into the right leg and hand. Transfer it through the core. And then inhale up. Exhale, change. Sorry, that's quite a long 3 breaths. And exhale, fold, which is good. Really, the 3 breaths that you do here should be at least as long as 5 normal breaths. Keep the legs straight rather than bringing the hand too low. Bring the hand up a bit and straighten the legs. You're okay. I won't bump into you. Inhale, come up. Exhale, turn to the right. Keep the feet in the same position. You can, if you ever do this and you feel a little any tension in your knees, then adjust your feet slightly, but try to keep towards 30 degrees. Rotate over the right leg. Inhale, arch back. No, that's forward. Inhale, arch back. And exhale, fold halfway, arms out like wings. David, turn your right foot out a bit more. Inhale, come up, arch back. Keep facing over the right leg. Exhale, go down. Good, stay there. Inhale. And then exhale, rotating from the base of the spine to the top of the head. Bring the left hand down and the right arm up. Look up at the top hand or the side wall. Parivrtta Trikonasana, revolved triangle. Top hand can be on the small of the back. 3 breaths. You're fine. Ujjayi breathing. The end of the exhales, if you can strengthen the Uddiyana Bandha, it will help your body to twist. And then inhale, come up halfway, arms wide like wings. Exhale, dip down, look at the back heel, relax neck. You're still over the right leg. And then inhale, come up, arch back. Exhale, turn to the side, hands to waist. Good. Inhale, bring the arms shoulder level. Exhale, revolve over the left leg. Inhale, arch back. Keep twisted over the right leg. Don't turn to the side when you arch back. And then exhale, fold over the leg, just halfway. You've got to resist through the legs. Try and lengthen your spine a bit more each time. Strengthen the legs. Inhale, come up. Arch back. Strong legs. Exhale, fold halfway. Reaching out through the spine. Good. Stay there. Inhale. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist. Try to go lumbar, middle, upper back, neck. Head turns last. Look up or look at the side wall. 3 breaths. Ujjayi breathing. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, dip down, relax neck, look at the back heel. Inhale, float up, arch back, still over the left leg. Exhale, turn to the side, Trikonasana Sthiti, hands to the waist. Inhale there, look hard. Exhale. Soften your knees, hop or step your feet together. Turn to face front. Lead and return sequence. Inhale. Exhale, look hard. Inhale, float the arms. Exhale, palms face forward. Inhale, arch from the upper back. Exhale, fold all the way. Short inhale into the back of your heart. Relax your neck. Exhale, Utkatasana, squat down, fully empty your lungs. Do you feel your lower abdomen sucked in and your perineum lifts slightly? Hold that. Just breathe into the back of your heart. Short breath. Hold it. Lift the heels. Hop or step back. Chaturanga, or bring your knees down. You choose now, but choose the right thing. And then inhale. Move forward. Upward facing dog. Don't go quite as low, Sophie. Stay up 1 more inch. Exhale. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths, short inhale, long exhale. Go right to the end of the breath, hold the breath out, lower abdomen in and up, look navel. Release, short inhale, long exhale. Look navel, hold the breath out, Mula Uddiyana Bandha. Chin on chest, Jalandhara Bandha. Inhale, plank pose. Hold the plank pose. Push the heart up and charge the legs. Push the heels away from the skull. And then keeping that, on an exhale, lower your body all the way to the floor. So don't bend your knees. If you can, go all the way down. Yeah, good. Hands back beside your hips, turn the head to one side, take rest. Switch off Ujjayi breathing. Bring the hands beside the chest. So like the heels of the hands are sort of more towards the bottom of your rib cage and the elbows are pointing up, forehead on the floor. Close the eyes. Look third eye, legs together. Bhujangasana variations, cobra. Exhale there. As you inhale, lift the forehead, the nose, chin, and the chest. And drag your heart slightly forward as you ground your pelvis and the tops of your feet. Eyes closed, look up. Exhale down. Repeat. Inhale, come up. Shoulder blades down. Exhale down. Take an inhale there. And exhale, come up. Langana Kriya, opposite breath. And stay there and inhale. And exhale down. With leg vinyasanas now, come down, even. Forehead on the floor. Inhale, lift the forehead, nose, chin, chest. Stay up, exhale, bend the knees, bring the heels towards the buttocks. Keep the hips down then. Inhale, straighten the legs. Keep the chest up, exhale, bend the heels towards the buttocks. Inhale, straighten the legs, and lift the chest a bit higher if you can, and keep it up. Exhale, bend the knees, heels towards the buttocks, and hold. Inhale there, lift the chest, hold the breath in. Pause, look up third eye. And exhale, slowly lower the legs, lower the chest. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, seat to the heels, long back, extended child's pose, hands on the floor. Just counterpose the back and relax. Look nabby, navel. Long exhales. Good. Turn the toes under. Downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, soften your knees. Hold the breath out. Hop onto your shins. Hands on the knees, Vajrasana, chest up, chin down, look hard. You can sit on your blocks here if you need to. Yeah. Eyes closed, look hard, Ujjayi breathing. Hands on tops of knees. If you can, you cup the knees with the hands for Vajrasana. And then there's a little bit of resistance, which helps you to lift the chest and drop the shoulders and bring the chin down, Jalandhara Bandha. I'm going to take 3 breaths here, switch the mama now to the throat pit. Internally gazing throat pit, 3 Ujjayi breaths. Chest up, chin down. Not hard for you to sit like that, Steve. Yeah, you need more height. It'd probably be doable. Not more, no, more. Try that. Yeah, move forward a bit more. So that you're on the front of the blocks. Can you do that? Tops of your feet. Is that more comfortable? Can you stay there? Okay, if it's too much, go cross-legged. And then from there, on the inhale, sit up, come up on your knees, float the arms over your head, interlock your fingers, chin down, lift. As you exhale, bring the thumbs to the back of the neck and sit down. Good. Inhale, sit up on the knees, push the hands to the ceiling. Pause. As you exhale, thumbs to the back of the neck, sit down. Fully empty your lungs. Draw the elbows back, lift the chest, bring the chin to the sternum, hold the breath out, Bayak Kumbhaka. Mula Uddiyana Janandara Bandha. Release the bandhas, sit up on the knees, push the hands to the ceiling. Exhale, sit down, hands to the knees. Go over to the right-hand side. Bring the left foot to the outside of the right knee for Ardha Matsyendrasana or spinal twist. Optional, extend the bottom leg straight. Bring your fingertips either side of your body. Just lift yourself up and try to square your sit bones. If you can, get on the front edge, inside edge of your right sit bone. Your bottom leg can be straight. It makes it easier for you. Yeah, Steve, I'll put your bottom leg straight. Put your bottom leg straight. And so you can have your right foot flat on the floor. If you need a block under your sit bones, if you're leaning back too much, put a block under. Inhale, float your arms, interlock your fingers. And on the exhale, twist left. And inhale, come back to center, lift a little more. Chin down. Exhale, twist to the left. Keep going as far as you can. See the furthest point of the room you can stand, and release the arms. Left hand down, hug the knee, elbow outside the knee, wrap and bind, left hand behind you, or wrap the left hand round your back and bring it over the top of your left thigh. And then inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, twist and look over your left shoulder. And close your eyes. Look down through your body at your navel. Take a short inhale and long exhale. Keep exhaling, keep exhaling. Empty your lungs. When your lungs are empty, pause. Draw the lower abdomen in and up. Allow you to twist freely. And then inhale. And exhale long. Keep that pattern of breath. Try to keep your gaze down into nabi, navel. Do 2 more breaths. Try to keep your right foot, the one near the outside of your hip, pointed and the shin bone rotated down to bring you into a more upright position. Like that. Let it go down. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, come back to center. And exhale, kneeling position, hands of knees. Inhale, float the arms overhead. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands to knees, go to the left-hand side, change sides. Do exactly the same thing on the other side. Hold the posture for 3 long breaths, and then come out in the same way. Focus on bandhas. Do 2 little vinyasas first to get into it. Twisting, going back to the front, twisting again. Get a little bit of freedom of movement, smooth out the breath, then take the pose. Ujjayi breathing in the pose, but concentrating on the length of the exhale and the bandhas at the end of the breath. Try to point the left foot and rotate the shin bone down so it draws your right hip more towards the floor. It allows you to tilt your pelvis more to the right. You want to hug that knee like that, yeah. You can use the arm as a little bit of a lever, but don't force. Make breath do most of the work. And then flip the palms, inhale, arms over the head. Exhale, hands down, rock onto your knees, Vajrasana. And then inhale, arms over the head, flip your palms. And exhale, hands behind you 10 inches. Inhale, lift your hips up, head back. And exhale, hips down, chin on the chest. Push your shin bones and your feet down. Inhale, lift up, and stay there. Squeeze the shoulder blades, head can go back. Exhale. Inhale into the heart, lift the chest, hold the breath in. And exhale slowly down. Hands to the floor in front of the knees. Hop or step back, Chaturanga or half Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, forward up dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, back down dog. Turn your fingers in a little bit, Steve. Your hands are rotated out too much. Just, yeah, more like that. Good. Spread your fingers, Dave. Soften the knees. Exhale. Hop or step forward, Utkatasana. Squat down. Sit down. Legs straight. Hands beside the hips. Dandasana. Inhale. We're sort of short of time, so we're just going to go straight into the Paschimottanasana. Inhale. Hands over the head. Forward bend. And exhale, fold. We'll do one vinyasa. Empty the lungs. Inhale, come up. Chin down, but lift up out of your hips for all your worth. Try to keep the length as you exhale, fold. Take big toes outside of the feet, or slide the hands over the top of the feet, or interlock the fingers beyond the feet. You choose. Bend the knees if you can't reach your feet. Hold the feet. Good. Inhale, round the back. And exhale, drop the chin. Look nabby navel. We're going to breathe together. Short inhale on 1, on 2, on 3. Exhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5, on 6. Pause. Inhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4. Exhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5, on 6, on 7, on 8. Pause. Optional banders. Release. Inhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Exhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5, on 6, on 7, on 8, on 9, on 10. Pause. Stop pulling, Aoife. Relax. And then continue. Use the breath count that works for you for 2 more breaths. Okay, so I'm going to change this up. I can. It's not going to be what you're used to. Bring your head down. Let your head go down as much as you comfortably can. Round your back. Let it round. Relax your shoulders. And then bring your chin towards your chest as much as you can. Your chin down. Yeah, close your eyes and look nabby. Okay, that's the Krishnacharya style of Paschimottanasana. Stretching the whole spine from the base of the skull to the bottom of the spine with the round back. Chin down to engage nabby, Uddiyana Bandha. Good. Flip the palms. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands behind you 10 inches. Bend both knees. If you can do tabletop, because you are going to do tabletop. Katus Pada Pitam. And then on the inhale, so feet are together in this, if you can. And then inhale, lift your hips up. Squeeze your shoulder blades, drop your head back. And exhale, come down. Do a variation. Inhale, just extend the right leg. Some of you have got your feet, bring your feet a little bit close to your buttock. Some of you, like if you want to, so that when you come up, that your shins are vertical. If your shins are too much angled towards your head, it pushes the weight more into your wrists, and you want to be able to distribute the weight between your feet and your hands. So as you come up, when you lift into the posture, you want the feeling of like pushing the knees in the direction of the feet and pushing the shoulders away from the knees. So it's like the stretch in the body is what lifts the hips, not just about strength. So exhale there. Inhale, straighten the right leg on the floor. Keep it straight. And exhale. And then as you inhale, come up and lift the right leg, point the foot to the ceiling, squeeze the shoulder blades, bring the head back. And keep the leg up, keep the leg straight, exhale, come down, bring the leg to the floor. If there's too much, you can just keep the knees bent. And again, inhale, come up. Squeeze the buttocks, lift the hips, lift the leg. Exhale, come down. Bend that leg, change legs. Do two on the other side. Try to push up strongly through the ball of the foot. And try to bring the leg as vertical as you can, which is one of the other reasons why you want the knee under the heel. You're a bit too short. Bring that heel further away, just a few inches, not that much there yet. Do one more. Okay, and then hold that and bring both legs up. And exhale, come down. And now both feet together, and do one as a counter pose with both feet together. Inhale, come up. No, I mean with both feet on the floor. Yeah. A backward handstand is not what I'm asking for. And then inhale, come up. And this time, exhale, don't move. Inhale, nudge the hips a bit. And exhale, come down. Okay, come onto your back. I want you to do a shoulder stand for 5 breaths, or half shoulder stand for 5 breaths only, and then come down and relax in Shavasana. Or just raise your legs to 90 degrees and stay there for 5 breaths. You choose. Spent a long time on Chaturanga, so we're running out of time. So we're just going to do a short inversion and then come down and rest. Smooth breaths, relaxed face. You count 5 of your comfortable breaths, then lower the feet or the knees to the forehead for plow, and then come down. Roll the head from side to side and take rest. Just let go of that deep breathing, let go of that sound in the throat. Completely relax your lungs and your chest. Relax your throat and let the breath move freely. Whatever you're thinking, just breathe it out, down through your whole body and out through your feet. So you feel the space in the center of your skull where your thoughts would be just become spacious and quiet. Forehead relaxes, eyes sink slightly, upper palate drops. And these marmas that you're releasing here, that it's not just a physical thing, will also help to switch off your thinking mind and your impulse for expression, speech, hearing, and also your emotions. It will put you back into neutral. So the upper palate drops, and then you'll feel the eyes recede, so the sense of sight diminishes. Soft palate releases and the tongue. Throat pit and the back of the throat. Release the emotional body. And then drop down and relax all the muscles around your heart. And feel your awareness gather in the center of your chest, just in front of your spine, which is the pranasthana. It's the seat of prana, the site of the soul in the body. And you want to just rest your awareness there. Back to the source. And if you're very sensitive to the breath, and you watch it carefully, you'll see that it begins there and returns there. The breath being the more physical manifestation of the prana. And that's the place where you rest your gaze in the practice, when you're gazing to the heart. It's called Hridaya, Pranisthan, and the Anahata Chakra in different schools of Indian thought. It's the same thing. Just let go of everything. Deepen your breath. Feet together, arms by your sides. Inhale, arms over your head. Left side, right side, both sides long. Then the knees, hug the knees. Make your way into a comfortable seated position for pranayama. Okay, it's warm. So for the first time this year, we do Shitali Pranayama. So is now the time to do a heating or a cooling pranayama? Huh? Cooling, yes. So you could do Kapalabhati now, but for a short time. But Kapalabhati is heating. And I can feel there's a kind of closeness in the room, and it's warmer. So, and also Bastrika and Bastri pranayamas would be heating. Shitali and Sitkari are cooling. Nadi Shadana, which we often do, alternate nostril breathing with no retention, is sort of not cooling or heating. It's just sama. It's even. But we'll do Shitali. For Shitali, you know, has everybody here done? No, some of you won't have done Shitali. So for Shitali, you need to be able to roll your tongue into a straw, if you can. So just protrude your tongue and then roll it up like a straw. So you can suck air in very forcefully and noisily through it, cooling the air, cooling the body as air rushes in over the saliva and the tongue and the mouth. So if you can't roll your tongue, that's no problem. We're all genetically, we're different. And some people, that's impossible for them to do, in which case you push the tongue up behind the back of the top teeth, and you spread the tongue out a little bit towards the roof of the mouth. And then you do the Shitali that way. It has exactly the same effect. And then it's called Sitkari. Same idea. And we'll do it with alternate nostril breathing. And you can also introduce, if you're familiar with it, I'm not going to go into it now, but if you want to do Jiva Bandha on the exhale and in the short retention, you can. Both hands chin mudra, and then bring the right hand into Vishnu mudra and keep the hand on the knee. First two fingers to the palm, you use the ring finger and the thumb to open and close the nostrils. So if you haven't ever done it before, you can just watch me do a round. And then exhale, chest up, chin down. To inhale, protrude the tongue, roll it, and inhale. Head goes back, eyes closed. Little pause. And then as you exhale, bring the chin down towards the chest, lift the chest up, close the right nostril. So I did that wrong. Start again. Retain. Okay, so exhale, and then protrude the tongue. Inhale, and as you inhale noisily through the rolled tongue, you bring the head back. Eyes are closed. Hold the breath. Draw the chin down, bring the hand up and close the right nostril, and exhale through the left nostril. No sound. Bring the hand down, Shitali, inhale. Head back, hold the breath, chin down, chest up. Close the left nostril, exhale right. Hand to the knee, Shitali, inhale. Head back, hold the breath. Chin down, close the right, exhale left. Bring the hand down to the knee, Shitali, inhale. Chin down. Continue. Do a couple more rounds like that, changing sides. The more force you can get on that inhale, the stronger you bring the breath in with the tongue rolled, the more stronger the cooling effect is. Like air conditioning, really. Do one more. And this time, when you exhale, hold the breath out. For a few seconds. And then slowly inhale, both nostrils. And exhale. Quiet breathing now. Bring your awareness into your third eye, center of skull, and on your eyebrows. Just rest your awareness there and allow the Ajna chakra to just be still, quiet. Place where your thoughts would be filled with a soft white light like a full moon. And you see the disk of the moon in your third eye. It's glowing softly, purifying, calming, cleansing the mind. In the old scriptures, they just say, meditate on the moon. And then holding that visualization, mentally repeat the mantra Om, or your personal mantra into that space. Keeping the forehead, the eyes, the upper palate, soft palate, the tongue, the throat relaxed. Let your thoughts completely disappear for a few moments. And then just allow the light of the moon to expand and fill your whole skull with light. Continue to repeat the mantra into that space. Your mind is full of light and the vibration of the ultimate reality. On the next exhale, drop the awareness into the heart. Begin to deepen your breath and ground yourself back in your body. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. Om Bolu Sakrus Bhagavan Ki Jai. Remind yourself the intention you made for your practice. Namaste. Okay, so you have some things to work on, yes? Can you remember what they are? I'm not sure I can. Yeah, learning the mantras. So when you first come to class, I give everybody those sheets. And on one of those sheets, if you've had a bunch of those sheets when you first came, you'll find one which has got the pictures of the positions in the sun salutation. And then the list right on the right-hand side is the mantras we're using. There's other mantras on there for Surya Namaskar as well. I've been giving them away this week. So if you haven't got one, I think I've only got one left there now, but I can get some more printed for next time. And so, yeah, try and learn those mantras. And the way to do it is just to do them when you do your practice, just sort of do them as your chant for a few weeks, and you'll soon get the hang of it. And then when you do the practice, do a few more sun salutations till you start to see how they fit. And it becomes really natural to you. It's not something you have to think about. It's really beautiful if you can. And you don't have to, but it's like a suggestion. And then the other thing is Chaturanga. Mess around with Chaturanga on your own at home and find where you feel stable and where you feel strong and where you can hold for that breath and repeat the mantra. And if you're not sure about it, set a camera up beside you. It's a very good thing to do on your phone, and just film yourself doing it. Have a look at that. You might see some obvious things, but you can show it to me and I will help you with it. It's important to get it right. Half Chaturanga is just as important as full Chaturanga. And then we'll get those videos all together and I'll put them on YouTube. And then the other thing is meditating in the moon. So when you do when there's more time, we'll start that little practice by doing the Sushumna Nadi breathing from the perineum to the third eye, yes, with Soham. And then we just stop it either in the third eye or the heart. Today we went to the third eye. And they say when you meditate in the third eye, the scriptures say meditate on the moon. So it's like that kind of light that you visualize here. And in that light, when you get more used to it, you can repeat the mantra. And you can also visualize the symbol of your deity there. So this is the seat of Om. This is the home of Om. This is where Om resides. So if you're meditating there and you've got this, the light is kind of, some people, I'm not going to ask you, but some people feel the light quite naturally. Sometimes it takes a bit more time. But in that light, if you spend a little while gazing at a symbol of the mantra Om, so it becomes imprinted on your mind. And we do this practice sometimes. Some of you would have done it with me. When you close your eyes, you can visualize the mantra there. It's usually often as it appears as a goldish color, or sometimes it appears as a more silvery color, or I don't know, other things. But the mantra will manifest it for you over time. And also if you have other mantras, why am I going on about this? But also if you have other mantras, deity mantras, if you've spent time gazing at the mantra and meditating on the visual form of the mantra, when you do that meditation and you get the light in the third eye, the image of the deity, even though it's quite complicated, some of those images, you'll find the image will just, one day it will just come. And when they come, it's not like the static image of the murti or the statue that you're looking at. When the image comes like that in meditation, the image will be alive. It'll be like a little, it's like just a being that's there. And sometimes they'll dance for you. I think I'm joking, don't you? Anyway, take that away and think about it. Namaste. Thank you so much.